All right, getting ready to go live here. Hey, hope everybody is having a good evening. Blizzard warning's just been issued. We're going to go over all of that right now. And here we go. Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. The National Weather Service has issued a blizzard warning for portions of the valley, and there's a winter storm watch for Sunday. As we've been talking about, a second wave is going to be making its way through. So blizzard warning will have complete forecast details and analysis, a misspelling there, as we go through. Just coming in from doing a little shoveling out there when I heard the blizzard warning issued. Let's get right down to it. Let me show you where things are. First and foremost, we're heading right over to the radar, and this is what's going on. All these purple counties have been extended and pushed off to the west now. Winter weather advisories out there, and we continue with winter weather advisories. The radar doesn't look like a big deal on this one, but I'm here to tell you we've got snow, and we've got blowing snow that continues across the region. These counties up here, northeasternmost North Dakota, including Grand Forks County, western Polk County, for you folks in Crookston, for you folks in Fisher, for you folks in Beltrami, straight up into the Argyle area, Stephen, and right up into the Kitson County area. Blizzard warning. This also includes down here, you folks in Norman County, Ada, Borup, all of you. Blizzard warning has been issued for the entirety of the overnight. All of these little icons here are basically saying, yep, there's blizzard-like conditions out there. So we've had enough wind and enough snowfall that the National Weather Service measured earlier today at 1.7 inches of snow. Well, that's enough to blow around all night, reducing visibility. So a blizzard warning is in effect here, and then we have to be concerned about the fact that we've got winter storm watch for portions of the Northern Valley. There's cold air alerts, cold weather advisories as we go through the overnight hours as well. Wind gusts today topped 70 miles per hour out to the west with terrible winds out in that area. Deb, good to have you on board. Thanks, Kim, for watching. Hope everything's going good. More snow is on the way for Sunday. What's going on tonight doesn't look all that impressive on this particular radar, but I'm loading up the other view here, and you can clearly see that we have a little bit more in the way of snow on this particular radar, which allows me to fine tune to see a higher resolution type of stuff. So let's go to it here. Shazam, and here we go. So now you can see this is not clouds moving, but this is snow on the radar. Look at this heavier band in the Devil's Lake Basin. You're talking Towner County, Rock Lake. You're pushing out into the Belcourt area there, Rolla, your area, seeing a batch of snow making its way through, and we have more of it where that came from. A little bit of snow danced through the James River Valley as well. A lot of wind out there with this, so it's really reducing visibility across our region. Now this light blue shade that you see here that extends from Minot, Devil's Lake through Grand Forks, this is a cold weather advisory. If you're in Grand Forks, you have multiple advisories ongoing at this time. In fact, I'm going to click here and I'll show you. Blizzard warning, that's the pink color you see. The light blue, that's a cold weather advisory, and a winter storm watch for Sunday. It looks like we're lining up for a heck of a stretch of weather. Thanks again for dropping your questions in here. I'll get to those in just a second. And thanks a lot for dropping measurements. Any measurements at all are better than anything. I went out there, I've got 1 foot plus drifts in places and absolutely nothing on the other side of the driveway. That's how this day has been. Plus, a lot of the snow that fell throughout the day has blown off the roof of cars, blown off the roof of houses, blown off the streets completely, and it's somewhere down in South Dakota with these gusty 40 mile per hour winds throughout the valley. A heavy batch making its way into northern parts of South Dakota right now too, and you have a winter weather advisory continue. So if you're in Brenton, Millbank, straight down into the Clark area, we're seeing some of these showers of snow making their way through. Look at this, just west of Aberdeen, kind of sneaking on the Highway 281 corridor there. South of the border. So that's going on there. And we have a batch moving through. Yep, you guessed it. Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it's stapled there. It's been stuck there for the whole drive time tonight. Started when we talked about our afternoon drive time update at 2 this afternoon on the western fringes. And now things are just a little bit ridiculous. So that's an update on what's going on right now with regards to our weather. And if you happen to be in northern Wisconsin watching Hutch's weather, you have winter storm warnings out there basically all along the South Shore Lake Superior. And we do have elevated snowfall rates and whatnot there, thanks to that lake effect. Really fetching. It's more of an easterly, northeasterly flow. So we've got reports up there of over a foot of snow in places as we talked about as well. Dryden seeing a healthy dose of snow. And if you happen to be in Winkler to Winnipeg, we got gusty winds ripping through that particular area as well. Now, we're going to take you right now to a look at what's going on with regards to our DOT cameras and road conditions. Pedro and I are on the ball. Pedro's lost his sweater. Let's see if we can find him here. Look at this. He's helping me cover stuff, and this is what's going on. Gone is the no travel advisory for South Central North Dakota. The purple that you see here means it's a travel alert, Pedro. You got to watch yourself. Down he goes. We still have a no travel advisory in northeastern parts of North Dakota. We're talking Cavalier, we're talking Pembina here at the I-29 border crossing there, and the entire eastern half of the state, including the central part of the state here from Bismarck south into Grant and Sioux counties, Morton counties, all in a travel alert at this particular time as well. Here is what it looks like in those areas that are reporting blizzard-like conditions. Let's get to that. We can plot a couple of these cameras up here on the I-29 corridor, and certainly you can see, look at this. This is not just blowing snow, folks. That is snow that's falling from the sky. Those 40-mile-per-hour winds will loft it up quite greatly, but those are some pretty good-sized flakes of snow there working their way through the Northern Valley. So again, don't travel if you don't need to. And in fact, there's a no travel advisory on I-29 that might just be coming out. More expanse to this no travel advisory. Do you see I-29 north of Grand Forks, the red, the candy cane colors that we see there? That indicates to old Hutcheroo here that we have no travel advisory on I-29 all the way from Grand Forks to the international border. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. North Grand Forks, there is a look at what's going on, and you can't see much of anything but wind and blowing snow across the greater part of northeast North Dakota right now. Roads reported to be green, which means seasonal up here in central parts of the Red River Valley as we go through Buxton. Valley City to Jamestown, this is how things are looking there. Taking a look at those road surfaces, we can see the middle line there, but there's definitely some flakes flying through the lens as you look into the Valley City area. Jamestown, I know it's been a rough year for snowfall in your area, not much at all. A lot of you wanted to get the snow machines out. We do see some ice on the sides of the roads there by the rumble strips on the interstate. In the ditch there, there's still some grass showing, but I do believe you got a little bit of snow. It'll be interesting to see what the measurements are. We have icy roads and covered roads as we go into Burleigh and Morton counties. So let's go to Burleigh County, just off to the east of the capital city. And we're not seeing as much lofted snow, reduced visibilities, and very icy and slippery travel conditions there. Out near New Salem, Sioux, let's go take a look at you. Here's New Salem, Sioux. And we have, look at the low cloud deck out here. A very shiny looking road surface out there, but the visibility is starting to improve in those particular areas. That's a quick look at North Dakota. Minnesota, let's take a gander. Here we've got the blizzard warning in the purple that you see there. The color codes are a little different from state to state here on these DOT pages. Keep that in mind. The purple, what does it mean? No travel advisories. So we have no travel advised for a good section of northwest Minnesota, including Kitson County from Hallock straight to the state line there in the Red River Valley. So that is highway, whoa, let me get in there, 175, I'm sorry. Then as we go in here in the Karlstad area, Donaldson area, highway 11, we see flakes of flying aplenty out there, blizzard-like conditions, and it looks like you're in the seat of the space machine there traveling through the stars. So a lot of snow and flakes that are horizontal. Here's a little bit farther up the road on Highway 11, and we get out of the blizzard warned area. We still have some blowing snow, but the visibility is a little bit better, a piece better. Thief River, let's check in on your area here as we take a look. The roads have definitely snow and some ice on them, and then there's that horizontal flake appearance to the atmosphere once again as those horizontal flakes are flying in the 40-plus-mile-per-hour winds. We'll take a look at those measurements and current conditions and the forecast as well, and I'll answer questions a little bit better as far as the visibility goes in and around the Langby area as you get out closer to maybe the Bagley and Bemidji area, but we do see the pink line there saying completely covered roads. Now, if you're heading down toward the cities on this Friday night, I know that there were a lot of people asking me about travel. It's just best to stay put if you don't have to. Here's a look at Fergus Falls, I-94. Look at the solid sheet of ice on I-94 there. It's good to see that there's not a heavy dose of traffic on that. Going out a little farther, Alexandria High. Thanks for watching. Here's what's going on. Horizontal flakes, tractor trailers rumbling through, 70-mile-per-hour gusts toppling tractor trailers, particularly those that had a light load or empty, as they work their way through parts of western North Dakota today and eastern Montana, likely having some of the same worries and woes. Look at what's going on in the metro Twin Cities area. All of these asterisks that you see in purple, those are crashes that are taking place right now. This is happening at an inopportune time as they're getting that band of snow in the area here, and we definitely do have what looks like to be, a heavy band of snow on the radar in that drive time. It is accumulating on area roads and highways. This is 169, US 169 there on the west side of the Twin Cities. That's where it's been snowing for the better part of about 3 hours in that area. Roads are improving a little bit in southwest Minnesota. They were pink earlier, meaning completely covered, so our DOT crews are getting the job done. And speaking of the DOT crews, let's jump into the seat of a plow here. All of these blue icons here, here, and here, those are the snow plows that are working their way through Minnesota. Let's go to Highway 10 out here off to the east of the Fargo area, and here is a look at the snow plow cam there. And as we take a look at the front seat, you can see the flakes flying again. That wind from the north will cause that snow to fly across the road surface. So you're going to get drifting, and it's just going to be very icy in places. So they're doing a tremendous job of keeping all of that snow off of the road surfaces right now, but that's what we have going on. Getting out to Superior and the Duluth area, we did have reports of upwards of a foot of snow. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it looks awful snowy, but not as blowy there, right? The visibility is much dramatically improved compared to what we saw elsewhere. So Minnesota still has blizzard conditions in the northwest quadrant of the state, a band of snow in the metro area of the Twin Cities for those traveling out in that general direction tonight. There will be travel challenges for you and more to come on Sunday. Now let's check South Dakota. We got a lot of viewers out there wanting to see what's going on, and we have had no travel advisories. Let me update you. As you look into north central South Dakota, there is a no travel advisory that has remained intact. This is generally in and around the areas of the McIntosh area. Here's Glenham, Selby, and Java, seeing those no travel advisories right on 1806, that Lewis and Clark Trail right there along the Missouri River Valley. Here is a look at a camera in that particular area, the road covered in pink, showing that that's very icy, and you can see the horizontal flakes flying out there in and around east of Selby on mile marker, let's see, it looks like 218 of US Highway 12 out there in north central South Dakota. I-29, that corridor has been a little bit suspect condition-wise, and now when we take a look and blow this up, you can see that it's hard to see. So you can see that the conditions there are not favorable for travel tonight. You'll be driving into the wind and into those 40-mile-per-hour gusts. I anticipate these gusts are going to last into and through the overnight hours. And for my viewers that are in Manitoba, we love you too. Let's take a look at what's going on for you. You get into the southern part of the province, and that's where the problems are and have been. We do have some areas here where we have yellow. The yellow on the roads up here, by the way, means partially covered roads. And we can take a look as you get up into the border just to check. And all of these reds are closed roads. So southern Manitoba between Winnipeg and Brandon, all the way down into Winkler, all the way towards, well, let's see. I'm trying to read some of the smaller fonts here. Thornhill and the areas down here, we are seeing absolutely closed roads. And if we follow up the good old highway up, I believe it's 75 going up right into Winnipeg, this is what it looks like right now at the L'Atelier. I'm going to try my chance at French there. Highway 75, junction 14. You can't see much of nothing there. So visibility is just junk, and the conditions are a little bit less than better than that. So here's a couple of cameras right at the border crossing there as you cross into Canada. No live camera shot available there right now, but here we have one, and look at that. So any travel north and south, I had some folks asking how about the hockey game between Grand Forks and Fargo? Better than north of Grand Forks. So if you're traveling from the north, it's going to be very, very difficult to be traveling northward tonight in those areas. So that's a look at Manitoba too. And now let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to your forecast. I'm going to start right with the facts because I've been working on this all night here, getting together the details of the next round of storms, even though this one is not done and we're far from out of the woods yet. In the morning is when the blizzard warning expires up north. We will still have gusty winds. These big fat arrows here indicate the strongest of the winds will be here in the valley. I think we will finally start seeing a reprieve out to the west west, where your wind speeds out there will be around the 5 to 10 degrees below zero for the air temperatures, but closer to 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts there. Here's sustained winds over 30, gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at 7 in the morning. The blizzard warning is set to expire, but folks, I'm telling you, the first few hours of the morning could still be very gusty with this system. I'll show you the isobars and the facts in the forecast here in a second. A lot of BS then moving through parts of the Northern Valley and Minnesota, with the strongest of the winds there, as well as some of the loftiest snowfall totals, although we have some healthy bands, as you saw on the radar, starting to dump some snow across parts of central and eastern North Dakota. It's not going to take much to cause us to get blurry vision. And we just had a little bit of blurry vision. Morning temperatures 11 below Grand Forks, 6 below in Fargo. It's going to be bone-chilling, tooth-chipping, face-slapping, nostril assaulting cold out there as you get out the door in the morning. Temperatures in Fergus Falls 5 below zero, 4 above in Minneapolis, St. Paul, so it's going to be brisk and cold there with 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, glazing roads and highways and interstates and byways as we go through 8:07, the time of sunrise, but it won't be too bright for most of us, although I do expect to see a little bit of sun breaking through out in western and central North Dakota as we go through the day. Now, I've got a couple of things I've got to highlight for you. Let's start with this. As we go into the afternoon, we're going to start seeing the low pressure system exit, north winds exit, more clouds continue out in the far east, warmer temperatures there. Highs only near zero here to below zero north, Devil's Lake Basin, northwest parts of Minnesota, sub-zero, and wind chills will be mighty cold. We're talking 20 to 35 degrees below zero in the morning for wind chill, and then as we go into the afternoon, we'll be hovering right around 25 to 30 below for many in the Northern Valley, a little bit milder than that if you want to call it mild. Now, there's going to be a wind switcheroo. From a north wind, it's going to go quiet, and then it's going to turn around and become southerly. And then as we go toward the night, it's going to increase, and this warm air is going to start overrunning the top of this cold molasses. That air that's warm rises over the top of this cold molasses, and that makes a band of clouds, and that's going to make our next round of snow as we head into Saturday night and Sunday. That's your timing. Get your pencils out, get your erasers. You mark this on your clock. 10 o'clock at night, we'll have snow starting out in western and northern parts of the state. And as we go through the overnight hours, it dumps into the valley with its batches of snow as it's working through. Pardon me while I just make sure that I have the right snowfall forecast in here for you. So let's see. This was the one for today, Friday and into Saturday. So pardon me while I go. I'm just going to grab the right image here because things have been a-changing all day long. So let's go right to here. This is a look at your forecast for the Sunday batch, okay? So we haven't gotten all the reports in. I do see that we've gotten a few reports of 2 inches or more. I'll answer those for you in a second, but we do have blowing and gusty winds causing more blowing snow on Sunday. Most of the snowfall will go from midnight as we go through the overnight hours on Saturday, and by noon, it's exiting this right side of the stage over here. So as we go through that area, it's going to go in this general direction here, and it's going to leave 1 to 3 inches of snow in Hutch's green blob area. That's the highlight area. Again, not a dump that's going to really leave us going wowzers, but you add it up to what we got today and you add in more winds gusting over 40 miles per hour. I have a wind analysis for you as well. On the outside of this, we'll see a pretty quick ramping down to a ½ inch to an inch or so. That includes, well, you folks up in the Bottineau Hills all the way down through the James River Valley, so another miss on the direct strike for you. Look at this, the Southern Valley picking up some, but probably closer to a ½ inch or an inch. A few places in this light blue could see a little bit more, but I'm going to err on the side of it's going to probably blow into South Dakota and Nebraska anyway, so we won't have to shovel it, right? Or it might get stuck on the side of your house. A ½ of an inch to an inch as you go out towards Duluth Superior. Where this system has changed is it was showing it moving out towards you, Simon, and Duluth and the Arrowhead. Now it's looking to go this way, that way down. And as it does so, it concentrates most of its snowfall right here and then exits and decreases in intensity as opposed to moving over here a little farther to the east. So there's been a shift west, and also a shift to the heavier snow to the west. We could see areas on the top side with this weather event that goes in on Sunday that see 4 or 6 inches of snow, but it's coming with so much wind, it's going to be pretty tough. And you know what that means for travel conditions, right? Have Hutch's weather app handy. for the latest on that as well. All right, so we've talked about tomorrow being cold. I do want to also iterate that we do have some winds to talk about on Sunday. We just showed you the snow. Now here's Hutch's analysis of the wind based on some forecast models. Sunday looks a lot like this last storm. The Rapid City area and the western part of the Dakotas see it first thing in the morning. It spreads through South Dakota and into the valley. The worst of the wind here in the Red River Valley could be midday. So as we go from the morning in the Devil's Lake Basin, gusty winds over 40 miles per hour in this, I don't know what color you call that. Go ahead and put it in the comments if you know. That color there, that red color, is going to be the windiest of the wind for us. It focuses on the Red River Valley as we go from noon, and it lasts most of the night. So the wind doesn't match up with the snowfall. The snowfall for us happens into the morning through the midday hour, and then the blow takes hold overnight. All day and into the night as we go into the close of our weekend. So that's what things are looking like. Even parts of, let me go over here. Even parts near Minneapolis and out into Des Moines are going to see some stout winds picking up as we go into the Sunday night time frame as well. So that is a look at that, and that takes care of that. Now let's take a look at your 7-day planner. Cold, face slapping cold out there in the morning, 6 below zero, warming up to 2. It will be very breezy in the morning, but then gradually decreasing, and the wind shifts direction from north eventually to south. That wind picks up, and look at this. Temperatures don't fall at night, but they rise a little bit. So we have rising temperatures at night from 2 to 5, not a big rise, and then we fall from 5 on our way down to 3. I've got a 1/2 inch to 2 inches for the area immediately in and around Fargo Grand Forks. I think there'll be more up north, as you saw on my map there, and for Fargo it looks like another inch chance to me with this next system. We're on our way down to lows in the teens below zero for many. For Fargo, we'll be near 10 below Monday and Tuesday. Those are some purple days out there because it's cold. We get a break from the high cloud cover quantities as we go through Monday. An Arctic slide in temperatures ends, and we start a nice little warm up. Short-lived. Check this out. All right, Wednesday into Thursday. Temperatures near 10 degrees for highs. That's your warm up. That's well below average for this time of the year, but at least it doesn't come with a blizzard. I do got to say this. When we get down around 10 to 20 to 25 below zero for air temperatures in a few places up north that have the heavier snow, and that's on Monday and Tuesday, then this warm-up could come with some, dare I say, that frost and ice setup. But once again, you get those south winds with just a little bit more moisture in them, and it likes to cause the frost to form right on the road. So look at what's coming, though. This is face slapping, tooth chipping cold again with Uncle Frosticles working his way back into the region out here as we go into your Friday. That is a quick look at our analysis. Now let me get you your hour-by-hour forecast, and then you got to have your questions for me. You know what? You can help me out here in this broadcast whenever you're watching it. Give it the thumbs up, give it the likes and the shares on the YouTube and Facebook channels. Any interaction with the video does help it get shared a little bit more. Let's talk about your forecast here as we go through. Comment as well with the conditions you're seeing. If you have questions, I'll be answering those here momentarily. All right, here we go. The latest model is on its way in as we go through, but the wind, as the isobars are very close together, looks like it's going to be blowing all night long, and this is as we go past 10 o'clock and into the midnight hour. Look at how they get closer together. So there might be lulls in the wind, but it does return. Anywhere with snow on the ground that's fresh, we're going to keep blowing. And now look at this. The isobars quite far apart out here in Plentywood, Montana, Glendive, Sydney, Montana. You folks can expect a decrease in wind speeds as we go toward sunrise. And also a little bit of a clearing in the clouds as that high pressure center moves over our area. Look at the winds lasting past sunset here in the valley. This is as we approach the midday hour, mid-morning to midday, it finally starts decreasing in the northern valley where the blizzard warning is, and the strongest of the wind moves into Lakes Country. We're talking for you folks in Ottertail County, as well as, oh, you folks in Gary, expect some winds through the pines to be a whistling right through. The Twin Cities still seeing more strong winds or stronger winds than we will be seeing here in the Red River Valley, because it finally starts to decrease. And when does that wind switcheroo happen? Oops, I'm gonna have to go back to a model run that goes out just a pinch further. So let's go out here. Okay, so here we go. Now, as we take a look at this afternoon forecast, still loading. There we go. Here's where we get the lull in the winds. We get a lull in the wind as we go right toward your dinner hour, about 3 to 6 in the evening. That's the break from the wind for Fargo, for Grand Forks, for Lakes Country and western and greater Minnesota. But look what's happening as we go through the dinner hour and beyond towards 10 o'clock and towards midnight. Here comes a band, some healthy bands of snow. Gusty south winds now are feeding this snow machine as it works its way through. The wind does a switcheroo and becomes northerly. So we're going to have breezy, but not the gustiest of winds as we go through your Sunday early morning hours pre-dawn. Then the cold front moves through, and that's going to kick off some more snow showers like we saw today. Those streaming long bands working their way through as colder and colder waves of air surge southward, wringing out every bit of moisture we have in the air. Here's your isobars getting friendly through the midday hour, those winds peaking in the Red River Valley and out into western Minnesota Sunday midday. And then after that, this system is out, but the cold air is in. All right. Thanks for bearing with me while I went through all of the facts first. There was a lot to go through right there. Now, there's a lot of questions on here. Thank you all. I don't know if I've got my sound turned down, but I'm not hearing it. Let's get right to your questions, and I'm going to start from the top, so bear with me. Deb, good to have you on board. Thanks for joining my YouTube stream. Kim and Carol, thank you very much. Cheryl, thanks for watching from Park Rapids, Minnesota. Did you get some measurable snow there? Hey, Brian Paulson, thank you very much. Any snow next week? It just looks really cold. Other than the flurries and the ice crystals that causes the halos, Hutch is forecasting halos, halos and sundogs as we go into next week with the Arctic chill that will be taking hold. Watching from Gonvik, thanks so very much. That's Carrie. Thank you for watching, Carrie. Okay, looking for questions. Let's see. Hi there, Deb. Good to see you. Sean says hi to Pedro. Got 2.2 north of Bemidji since last night. Sean, thank you very much for your report out there as well. Tyler says, watching from Thief River Falls, thanks for the great coverage and thank you for watching. I couldn't do it without you and I appreciate your questions. We'll get to some of those Facebook ones coming up right quick. 70 mile per hour gusts. Holy buckets, says Swap Splat. Swap Splat. That's pretty gusty winds indeed. Blowing snort could be the possibility, as we've had plenty of that across the area with some snow that's been disappeared. I need a Hutch meter. The Hutch meter, something that we've got to talk about. That sounds like something fun that everybody should have. Gusty BS is absolutely right, says Kurt, and I think we've all had enough. Enough to scrape the driveway again, says Sean. Thanks so much. Kurt says we just had a little snow, but it was pretty lousy driving here today in Richland County, and that's the same for us here in Cass and Clay counties. All right, let's see. Rockabilly, it's got cold air, looking for questions, and driving to the Twin Cities, patchy whiteout conditions. Will the wind die down? In short, no. Jenna, safe travels to you, and in fact you're going to get into the band of snow moving into the cities, and the wind will be increasing in the Twin Cities afterwards. Their temperatures have been warmer, but already they're freezing now, so they're dropping fairly quickly, and things that are wet there will be getting a little icy. So please take it easy, slow down, make sure your headlights are on, make sure your cruise control is off. I'm sure you're doing all of those things. Lake of Fire says, thank you, Hutch. Go-to for weather. Thank you, and I'm honored to be your meteorologist. Biggest bowl popcorn to go Broncos. Clint Moe is on the sideline with Hutch Johnson. Let's go. Let's talk here. Don, thank you for your stars. I do appreciate each and every one of supporting Hutch through stars on Facebook, through contributions on my YouTube channel, by hitting the like button. That helps Hutch. So you can do it that way too. Do thumbs up, do loves. I'm going to do some hearts right now. You'll see them flying across, 100% smiley. All that stuff helps. It's interactions, and your questions help. Your comments and observations help. So more people see the videos. So thank you so very, very much for everything. And Dawn, I do truly appreciate that gift. And if you go to my website or my app and you want to take something home with you, check out Hutch's Shop on the top line of the website or on my app. You can order something to keep you warm this winter. There's some fun designs with what I call Hutchisms, like shovel trouble or travel trickery. So check out the merchandise out there, and even something from my friend Pedro out there. You'll see there's small dog alerts that were issued today. Hello from Detroit Lake, says Jeremy. Emily has been tagged by Elaine. Thanks, Elaine, for tagging friends. That helps spread the word. Am I anticipating any airport delays in Fargo Sunday morning? I have a flight departing 5 a.m. It is completely possible, Ross, that there could be flight delays on Sunday. I am not the operator at the airport, but the morning time is when that system will be moving through at 5 a.m. It'll be coming through at midnight and beyond, and then by 5-6 a.m. the wind starts to increase from the north. So I would be checking that before I went to the airport, the arrivals and departures at Hector, to see how things are faring there. I don't predict that, and I don't want to, I have no say in their judgment on what gets canceled or delayed, and it's not always what happens here that impacts your flight, right? If a flight is getting snowed out and it's coming from the Great Lakes area, there's just simply nothing you can do. Elizabeth, thanks. Looks bad out there, and indeed it does. John, what's White Earth, Minnesota going to look like on Sunday? Well, we're going to have that shot of snow making its way through, and as we go through Becker County, we're going to see some accumulation, and I do have that snowfall forecast. So as you ask the questions, Hutch is going to try to deliver the answers. Here's a look at the Saturday night to Sunday snowfall. Yep, that's the right one. So here's my green line, and that's the band of a modestly heavier snow. Notice this isn't a bucket slapper. This is 1 to 3 inches of snow, but we do have more gusty BS, blowing snow, for those of you wondering. This is the Devil's Lake Basin. Here's the Red River Valley, and if you're looking for White Earth, you're right on the doggone line again. So we're going to see snowfall amounts in parts of southern Becker County and Otter Tail County, an inch or maybe a little bit more for some, the 1+ category here, but you're going to get into the 1 to 3 pretty quickly in your neck of the woods. 1 to 3 gusts of wind in Monoman County could be upwards of 35 to 45 miles per hour. We're going to have some of the stronger winds once again out to the west, but less snowfall there. But as we saw today, that don't matter too much when it comes to all this. Hutch, you still looking good. Amber, thank you very much. Let's see, what else do we got? We've got Elizabeth. Grand Forks has blowing snow. Indeed, you do. Thank you for your report. Walhalla can barely see across the street. Denise, thank you very, very much for your report there. And let's see. I don't know how that got hidden. I might have clicked on it. I'm sorry. Denise, thank you for your comment. How is it going to be in Ada? Well, you got the trick right here. You're in the same boat as you look into Norman County. A little bit heavier snow, more wind. Ada's no fun with the north wind's going to be blowing those roads with some icy conditions there. And we'll have some zero visibility problems as we go through our midday hour, in particular when the wind really picks up as the snow is exiting. Annette says, how's Highway 39 between Borup and Purley tomorrow morning? Well, tomorrow morning we'll still have some pretty brisk winds. Remember, the blizzard warning north of Purley now, up near Grand Forks, is extended until 6 a.m. The gusty winds will be kissing that 35 to 40 mile per hour on again, off again through the overnight. So it could be quite tough first thing in the morning. You wait a little while and it should quickly start decreasing, and the strongest of the winds moving off to our east. So I hope that helps, Annette. Thank you for your question. Watching Tracy from Lancaster, good to have you on board. Love Kitson County, and all you folks up there, I hope things are doing good in the blizzard warning. I hope you batten down the hatches and you're just enjoying the night. Jerica, thank you, and good evening to you. Tyler sharing some stars and support with good old Hutcherooski here, and I do appreciate that. My heartfelt thank you to all of you who have contributed to me in so many different ways, including ideas. I do listen to your ideas, and Hutch's weather is nowhere near done growing yet. It's just not. I'm going to keep building what I love doing, and that's the machine to keep you informed. When can I see the sun? Myra or Mira, briefly tomorrow, depending on where you're living. It's cold. Can you tell me where you're at? and I'll give you a better idea. The best chance of some sunshine on Saturday is going to be in western North Dakota, moving into central North Dakota. We might get a few brief rays of sun in the afternoon here in Fargo with the exit of the wind. And in the midday to afternoon hours, we could see some sun pushing into western parts of Minnesota as well. So just a little sliver of sun in between our weather-making systems. Once our wind becomes southerly and it increases, though, I'm afraid the clouds will start building back in. Karen, thank you very much for your support. Jerica, how does the weather look next Sunday, the 25th, Moorhead to Rochester? For a Mayo Clinic trip. You're going to want to keep your eyes on the skies for that one. I will get out a national map for you and do my best to just show you what the models are showing us. It looks ridiculously cold next week. So depending on your day here, let me see, I have to scroll through. The 25th. Okay, so let's get back out to this. And I want to look at the European model. It, as you know, if you've watched Hutch a lot, it's my favorite model, but beyond days 3 or 4. And here we go. So as we get into the 25th, we're talking quite a ways out here. Late next week, we're just going to be armpit rubbing cold out here as we go into the Thursday, Friday time frame. And then we have this cold high pressure system kind of swirling right over the top of us as we go into Saturday. So here's the 24th, and you're asking for the 25th. Pardon me, it's going to be dangerously cold as we go through. And it's not going to be terribly windy the way it looks there on the 24th. Now, as we go into the 25th, not much changes. So north wind, cold Arctic air mass, planting itself right over our kitchen. And here's a look at the temperatures. Watch the blobcast is what Hutch likes to say here. This is Hutch's blobcast. Do you see the purple blob up there? That's cold, and that's what we have right now. But that ain't nothing compared to what we're going to see late in the week as that blob slobs its way south out of Canada. Watch what happens here. Here is the settling between storm systems as we go into Sunday morning. We're going to have cold air making its way through. It's this, I don't know what color you call that, very, very light blue that's kind of up there in the middle of the purple near Hudson Bay in Canada. Woo-wee, we need to look out for that. That's going to be not good. So as we set this into motion and we go through next week, it's going to be cold all week. We get a little bit of a break kind of midweek. See that warm up coming in from the west there? And then after that, on the 7-day forecast, watch what's plowing our way from Hudson Bay. Look out. Look out, duck, it's coming. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, so now as we get into Saturday the 24th, when you're wanting to go over the hills and through the woods out to Rochester, we're even talking temperatures. Now this is a long ways out, so I wouldn't put too much weight on these precision, or there's no precision in these temperatures yet, but it does give us an idea that we're talking, that says 32, and that's the air temperature, 32 below zero, okay? That'll put hair on your chest and hopefully everywhere else because it's too cold to not have hair. So you just got to make sure that you're staying warm. 41 below zero? Are you kidding me, Brandon, Manitoba? That doesn't look fun at all. This is a very cold air mass, and it's why I've been saying the last couple days, the coldest air of the season thus far coming our way, the way the models look, and this isn't the only model that shows it. It does moderate a bit, but it does look like we're in a colder pattern all the way to the end of the month. And then finally, we get to see winds downsloping off the Rocky Mountains and trying to warm us up just a piece. That's how we close off the second one half of the month of January. It does not look balmy. It does not look hot. You got to put wood on the fire and give her all you got. Let's see what else we got here. Melanie says, a night not fit for man nor beast in Walhalla. Thank you for your report. I've just passed that information on to Pedro, and we are going to cancel our walk to Walhalla tonight. We like to get out and go for walks, but we're just going to sit tight next to the old fireplace here burning tonight. Melanie, thank you for your input. Saturday morning, Minneapolis to Fargo, 8 a.m. Still breezy, slippery in spots. By breezy, I mean 25 to 40 mile per hour winds. First thing in the morning. The longer you wait, the lower the winds will be, and the better the conditions will likely be, and the more caught up our departments of transportation will likely have the road. But you know, Sarah, where you can get the information on the roads right on your phone. Please search Hutch's Weather in your app store today, download it, and now we've got a whole bunch of folks out here. Hawks versus Denver this weekend. Oh my goodness, look at this. We're talking basketball, and you know, there are Seahawks too, you know, but we're not playing the Seahawks unless it's in the Super Bowl. And that won't be this weekend. That's in a couple weekends. But I'm optimistic. And that would be a heck of a rematch in the Super Bowl, would it not? Okay, so let's talk weather here. I did a little sports break there. Watching from Breck, Campbell area. Thank you so very, very much. Campbell, Tinta, the tri-state region there. Thanks for watching. My aunt in Nimrod thinks you're smart. Sean, thank you. Tell your aunt thank you, and Hutch thanks you. I got them all fooled. I spend a lot of time thinking I know what I'm talking about, but then Mother Nature has a fast way of humbling us meteorologists, so you can never stay too proud of things. But it is really rewarding when you do a lot of work, a lot of study, and you've seen this before, and the next thing you know is Shazam, the forecast panned out and it happened kind of the way you said. That is rewarding. When it doesn't happen, I don't kick the can and try to find some other line of work. Nope, I try to learn from it, so the next time, hopefully it don't whack me in the back of the neck like a mosquito the size of I don't know, Alaska. Big mosquitoes there. Clint Moe, that's a lot of snowmen and cold air out there. Thank you very much. All right, Rita says, Rita in Fargo, the niece is flying into Grand Forks tomorrow from Florida. And what will the weather be for travel to Mayville, North Dakota next week? Well, in Mayville, North Dakota, depending on where you're traveling from, if it's Fargo, next week's just going to be darn cold. So we're going to have some continued slippery conditions, but the snowfall after Sunday looks to be pretty minimal, and mainly those ice crystal type events where, you know, somebody in Minot sneezes, and then that moisture that they sneeze into the air crystallizes and becomes snow almost instantaneously because the air is so cold. Water cannot be held in the air. It precipitates out immediately. All right. Thank you very much. Donna says thanks from Carlstead. Hutch says thanks from Moorhead. In review, we have a blizzard warning that has been issued for the northern Red River Valley. I'll see if I can put that up on the screen behind us here if it's still on my computer. The blizzard warning is in effect for the overnight hours. It's the counties you see in oh, I got to open the radar back up. There it is. Okay, it's the counties that you see in pink here. Western Polk, Western Marshall, all the way up into Kitson. Also, we have, well, the Cavalier area, Eastern Walsh County for you folks in the Grafton area. We have Grand Forks also in that, as well as you, Ada and Borup. So the Highway 9 corridor here all the way straight up, the Highway 75 corridor all the way straight up. Very difficult travel conditions. And we do have no travel advisories up in parts of Northeast North Dakota. And an update on that. These have been changing all day. So you can look at Hutch's broadcast at now at 7 p.m. and you can say, I'm fixing to go driving because stuff is looking pretty tasty out here and it looks no problem. We got a travel alert, but nothing too bad. And then the next thing you know, there's a road closed or a crash happens and everything gets shut down. So it's just a better night to stay home tonight. Even with the little amount of snow we have, you get in open country, it's very difficult to see. In Minnesota, we still have some areas of very difficult travel up in northwest parts of the state. No travel is advised for northwest parts of Minnesota, rather, as you see all these purple roads here from Hallock to the state line, all the way from Carlstead to the state line. It looks like Highway 1, Alvarado, Warren, right to the state line, closed. Crookston through Fisher and on into East Grand Forks, closed. Those are not closed, excuse me. No travel advised. Please excuse me. I shouldn't have said closed. It's no travel advised on all the purple roads. These are all east-west thoroughfares. That's because we have north winds and it's just almost impossible to keep them clear, and it's more difficult to see if you're driving in that. The pink roads that you see from Crookston all the way to Boston, indicative of completely covered roads. Same thing goes here now for Highway 10 from Fargo all the way to DL. So if you're thinking about trying to get out in that general direction, it don't look like too much fun for you. Here is a look at that old tri-level. Let's go right into Fargo Moorhead here and see what we got going on. The visibility is Well, I wouldn't call it great. We still got some blowing snow, but as far as the snowfall goes, we might be in improved conditions here. You get outside of town, you get to Lake Park, and see all these little dots on the Minnesota map? You can't see them probably because there they are. Yeah, you can. Those little dots are indicative of visibility. So the visibility in this area on Highway 10 is reduced to a quarter mile or less in places. And now if we take a look at what it looks like in Lake Park on Highway 10, you can see the horizontal flakes. So that's what's going on across the region. Don't travel if you don't got to. Have Hutch's weather app handy. Please download it. Let your friends know. You can share the app right from your phone. There's 3 dots on the top of Hutch's weather app. Click those 3 dots, hit share, and send the link to the app to your friends so you can pass the word around and help me get my app in the hands of more people. Now, I did promise you or talk to you about the fact that I'd give you some snow measurements. I went outside and it's really hard to measure the snow. I've got areas of 0 and I've got areas of a foot drift-wise, but it looks like it's pretty doggone close to about 1 1/2 inches in South Moorhead. So that's what I had. This morning I had about 7/10 of an inch when I measured on the new fallen areas, but it's been blowing all day and some of that's gone now. So it's hard to measure. I get that. But if you have a chance, grab a ruler, go measure some snow, take your dog, and then come right back in and find the fire. Now, you can look at snowfall reports from across the region. By the way, back in the old days of meteorology, they would measure snow every 1 to 3 hours on a snowboard, and a human observer would go out there and measure it. You would measure the snow on a board that's painted white, and you would record how much snow had fallen. It doesn't have time to compact. It doesn't have time to melt all the time. So you're going to measure it about every hour or 2. If you're committed to doing that, you're going to catch all the snowfall or more of it. Once it gets a blizzard though and it's wiped off the face of the board, you're out of luck on that particular thing. But let's take a look at some of the snowfall measurements that are showing up nationally and regionally. And you can see the little blue dots here. Those are lower snowfall amounts, but we talked about that over the last few days, that this system wasn't going to be a big dumper. It was just going to be a big blower, more blow than snow. About 3 inches out in Grassy Butte. We talked about isolated areas picking up to 4 inches of snow. Things calming down with 1 inch in Watford City. Some of these measurements, you can look at the time on them. This 2-inch report from Bismarck happened at noon. There's been snow falling, and there's still snow falling in the capital city. So there'll be more on top of that for sure since noon. Now, if you look at 1.6 in the Hazleton area out there in Emmons County, here in southeast North Dakota, generally we had 1 inch report at 8 a.m. in Montpelier in southern Stutzman County. We'll take that 1 inch of snow out there in Stutzman County, and that was at 8 a.m. And you have bands of snow, I'm looking at the radar right now, that are splitting and kind of in your area, but on again, off again snow. As you look out near Lemoore, we've got 1.1 inches. There's no measurement turned in from Fargo. I'll pass my measurement along to the National Weather Service here soon, but I've got 1.5 in South Moorhead. What have you got? A measurement of 1.3 inches at Grand Forks showing up there, and 3 inches reported in Greenbush in Roseau County. If you're asking me, Hutch, how come you don't report how much snow I have in my town? That's because the Weather Service, we have not gotten any other reports from these areas. Sometimes we have to comb through a lot of channels to find your reports. That's why it's kind of nice to have one place to report the snow. And as you take a look here and you get down into Duluth, this is where the big winners are, folks. So we do look in the Duluth Superior area. And as you look in Lakes Country out here to the west, Cloquet and those areas, we've got some measurements of about 2 to 4 inches of snow in around Duluth. And then you go to Superior, where that wind bent around and come in from the north. Oh my goodness, how about 10.7 inches out here, 7 miles east of Superior, Wisconsin? I mean, that goes from 3 or 4 up to 7 to 10 real quickly. 10.7 inches of snow, 8.5 in Wentworth out there, and 8 inches confirming that in Hawthorne. So a lot of snow out in that area, and we have that next Sunday round coming. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for supporting me. I do see that a few of you ordered some more gear off of the shop in Hutch's Weather. So thank you for doing that. Good day to be a penguin, Rockabilly says. And Donnie D says, what a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, I've heard somebody when I was a kid that used to sing that. Hello from Fergus Falls, says Gary. Hi to you. All right, everybody, I'm throwing some hearts up here because it's been a pleasure. Stay home, stay warm. Let us know what you're seeing. I will be back with an update as we go into your Saturday because we have a blizzard warning in effect. If there's a reason to break in or to let you know, I'll post stuff right here. You can always get the very latest on Hutch's weather app as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your reports. And thanks for making this interactive experience one that's fun for all of us. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson bidding you a very good Friday evening.
This has been a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right, I did. Don't forget to download our new app. Oh, now let's rock. Thanks for watching Hutch's